The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Sarah Chen stepped forward, her modest Earth delegation looking almost comically small compared to the towering representatives of the Zephyrian Empire and the crystalline forms of the Kethmori Collective. The holographic display behind her showed the latest casualty, reports from the Outer Rim colonies, another million human civilians dead in what the aliens called minor territorial adjustments. Honored delegates, Sarah began, her voice carrying the practiced diplomacy of 3 decades in interstellar relations. We come before you today with a final request for cessation of hostilities against human settlements. The Zephyrian war prime Vexthal let out what passed for laughter among his species. DDM, grinding sound like metal on stone. The mammals speak of requests. You occupy 17 systems that rightfully belong to the Empire. Your surrender is inevitable. Sarah's jaw tightened almost imperceptibly. Behind her, General Marcus Rodriguez shifted slightly, his weathered hands clasped behind his back. The movement was subtle, but every military officer in the chamber recognized it, the stance of a soldier preparing for unpleasant duty. Perhaps, Sarah continued with measured calm, there has been a misunderstanding about humanity's position in this conflict. We've been operating under the assumption that civilized discourse might resolve our differences. The Kethmori delegate's crystalline form pulsed with dismissive colors. Your species lacks the evolutionary advantage of proper warfare. You are weak, scattered, and your technology is primitive. Accept integration into our collective or be eliminated. Sarah nodded thoughtfully, then turned to whisper something to General Rodriguez.
He handed her a simple, unremarkable tablet.
She glanced at it, took a deep breath, and turned back to address the assembly. I see. Well, in that case, I'm authorized to deliver a message from the Human Defense Council. She cleared her throat and read directly from the tablet. Stop attacking our people, or we will stop pretending to be polite. The chamber erupted in what could only be described as alien laughter. The Zephyrians hissed with amusement. The Kethmori flickered in patterns of derision, and even the usually neutral Altarian observers swayed in what their species considered hilarious. War Prime Vexthal rose to his full 12-foot height. Pretending to be polite? Mammals, you have shown us your full military capability. Your largest warships are dwarfed by our patrol craft. Your most advanced weapons barely scratch our shields. What possible threat could you— Excuse me, Sarah interrupted, her diplomatic smile never wavering. I think there's been another misunderstanding. You've seen our police force. The laughter died. General Rodriguez stepped forward, his own tablet displaying a series of tactical readouts. The ships you've been fighting? Those were our peacekeepers, designed for crowd control and minor disputes. Our actual military has been occupied. Occupied with what? The Kethmori delegates' colors shifted to suspicious orange. Civil engineering projects, mostly, Rodriguez replied casually. See, we've been building. Had to do something with all those soldiers while our diplomats tried to work things out peacefully. Sarah activated the chamber's main display, showing a real-time tactical overview of human space. What had appeared to be 17 lightly defended systems suddenly revealed themselves as something else entirely. Massive installations materialized as their stealth systems deactivated. Not space stations, but fortress worlds. Not colonies, but military manufacturing complexes on a scale that defied comprehension. This is the Titan Forge at Ross 154, Rodriguez explained as the display zoomed in on what looked like a small moon. We've been strip mining asteroids for raw materials. It produces 1 Dreadnought-class warship every 6 hours. The aliens stared in horrified fascination as the scope of human military production became clear. Entire asteroid belts had been converted into automated shipyards. Gas giants were being harvested by massive atmospheric processors. The quiet little human colonies weren't colonies at all. They were the largest military-industrial complex in known galactic history. Sol system, Sarah continued, her diplomatic mask finally slipping to reveal something far more dangerous underneath, has been under full conversion for the past 50 years. We've turned the entire system into a fortress. Would you like to see? The display shifted to show humanity's home system. Earth looked the same, but everything else had been transformed. Mars was now a single planet-sized weapons platform. The asteroid belt had become a network of interconnected battle stations. Jupiter's moons housed manufacturing facilities that could produce fleets measured in the thousands. But the truly impressive part, Rodriguez added with professional pride, is Luna. The display focused on Earth's moon, and even the composed Altarians recoiled in shock. The moon's entire surface was covered in what could only be described as the largest weapon ever constructed, a mass driver capable of accelerating projectiles to significant fractions of light speed. "We call it the goodbye gun," Sarah said pleasantly. "It can put a tungsten rod through any planet in the galaxy with pinpoint accuracy. We've been very careful not to point it at anyone during our diplomatic talks." War Prime Vexthal's earlier confidence had evaporated entirely. "This is impossible. Our intelligence reports showed exactly what we wanted them to show," Rodriguez interrupted. "Did you really think a species that conquered its own solar system before achieving FTL would be helpless in a real war?" The Kethmori delegate flickered through several colors before settling on a sickly yellow that indicated fear. The collective assumed human behavior patterns indicated weakness. Sarah's smile was now sharp enough to cut glass. "We tried politeness. We tried diplomacy. We sent our children to play with your children and hoped we could all get along." Her expression hardened. "But if you want to see what humans do when we're not being polite, just keep killing our people." The display switched to show massive human battle fleets decloaking throughout the galaxy. Not the small patrol vessels the aliens had been fighting, but kilometer-long dreadnoughts bristling with weapons that made alien technology look like toys. "You have 24 hours to begin evacuation of all human systems," Rodriguez announced. "After that, we implement what our military calls aggressive negotiations." As the stunned alien delegates absorbed the magnitude of their miscalculation, Sarah gathered her materials with practiced efficiency. "Oh, and one more thing," she added almost as an afterthought. "This is still us being polite. We could have simply eliminated your homeworlds 3 months ago when you started this war." The chamber remained dead silent as the human delegation filed out, leaving behind a galaxy that had just learned the difference between humanity at peace and humanity at war. Outside the council chamber, Rodriguez glanced at his ambassador. "Think they'll take the hint?" Sarah straightened her jacket and smiled. "If they don't, they'll learn why humans never really needed permission to do anything." Above them, the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath, waiting to see whether the galaxy would choose wisdom or discover exactly how impolite humanity could be when its children were threatened. The age of human diplomacy was officially over. The age of consequences had begun.